be reading these old books, I be like, God damn, you could never say none of this in 2023, child. Never. You hear me? Never. It be suits all over the place. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. All of our shades are now on sale for $20. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Mary Wells. Whoa! He was Larkin Arnold, Senior Vice President for Black Music for CBS, which owned Epic Records and Columbia Records. According to Curtis, Arnold saw and admired one of Wells's performances and invited her to visit his office. Wells was excited but worried. She told Curtis that because she hadn't made any records in years, we don't have any material to take up there. Womack told her, just bring your greatest album. I want this man to just see you and remember your glory days in rock and roll. Wells took Curtis and, oh, okay, it's Curtis, because I'm like, she done got down with two of the Womack, so which Womack told her to take the albums up there? I don't know. Okay, now we know. Wells took Curtis's advice, and the result, Curtis said, exceeded their expectations. Mary showed Arnold the records, and he looked at them, got up from his desk, and walked over to the window. He looked out the window for a while. When he turned around, he had tears on his face. It's a deal, he said. Okay. Arnold's plan was to put Wells together with a producer and songwriter who would give her material that was happening in the early 1980s. The 12-inch version of Gigolo includes an extended rock guitar solo and is backed with Let's Mix It Up. Arnold's reaction was, Gigolo wasn't a gigantic hit, but it was okay. Although he would have been happier if the song had done better, Arnold noted that it had put Mary's name out there again and put some money in her pocket. Both developments, he said, were very useful to her. In addition to Gigolo and These Arms, the In and Out of Love album contains the yearning dreamlight songs Will You Still Love Me, Share My Love, You Make Me Feel So Good Inside, Spend the Nights With Me, Indian Giver, Let's Mix It Up, I'm Changing My Ways, and the bouncy aggressive I'm Not the One You're in Love With. Mary and Curtis had written I'm Changing My Ways. Later on, Wells blamed the failure of the These Arms single, as well as the In and Out of Love album, on the company's refusal to follow her marketing plan. She had wanted to release These Arms before Gigolo in order to recapture her share of the black music market by reminding the world of her Motown greatness, and then to release Gigolo as the next step in her comeback. But the company insisted on the reverse, she said. Porter blamed Mary's problems at Epic on Arnold's refusal to take his marketing advice, which was to direct Mary's release at what he believed was her large Latino audience. Porter said that when he told Arnold about the overwhelmingly enthusiastic Latino reactions to her concert performances, Arnold's response was, there ain't no Mexicans in Kansas City. When I be reading these old books, I be like, God damn, you could never say none of this in 2023, child. Never. You hear me? Never. It be suits all over the place. Arnold told Unsung that he partly blamed the company's failure with Mary on the great success Epic was having with other artists. This was an updated version of what had happened to Mary at Atlantic Records, where she was told the company had to concentrate on Aretha Franklin rather than Mary and its other R&B women. Don't bring Riri into this. This ain't her fucking fault. It takes a great combination. And remember, that goddamn Jerry Wexler was Aretha Franklin's saving grace. Just like that Clive Davis. El Diablo is what we call him. Okay? It's that combination, like Puffy and who else Puffy had a great combination with after Biggie died? I don't know. Have y'all heard about what the heck was going on with Puffy and Usher? Usher said there were things that he should not have saw while he was being mentored by Puffy. And with that being said, let's take it back to the Corinne Steffens book. Remember, Corinne Steffens said that, because she was tossing a lot of these men salad, that when she got with Usher and Puffy, both their salads were a little exposed. Their salad bowl was a little exposed. All right? Okay. Arnold said DJs would tell him, Larkin, I'm playing 7, 8 of your records. I can't play anymore. It looked like things are going on. That is, that they were taking payola. Child, you were taking payola. That's what the DJs was doing back then, the payola. Hell, they did it with the Cardi B. Cardi B, I think she admitted to having to pay certain DJs to play her song. In 1982, Wells produced the second album called For In Her Contract, an adult contemporary collection titled Easy Touch. Released on CBS Records, 51 West subsidiary, the album failed to chart. Mary's experience at CBS Epic, of course, was a continuation of her post-Motown pattern, a couple of solid 2-based hits, followed by a foul out. Discouraged but still fighting, Mary made several more attempts at restarting her recording career, even after her somewhat disappointing experience at CBS. Later in 1982, she dipped her toe in the freezing water of the record world once again, recording Jingle Bell Rock and Silent Night on an album called Christmas Soul Special. Well, hold on, pause, okay? Because if you know, nothing ain't going to sell besides the gospel music. Okay, if you sing to the Lord, you will always win. If you sing to the children, you will always win. If you sing about the holidays, you will win. Okay, let's see if she won. It was released by Quag Records in 1982 and went nowhere. Oh, okay. I guess she ain't win. She then made another attempt, this one involving a greater number of songs, by recording musically updated versions of her Motown hits on an album produced by Allegiance Records in 1983 called The Old, The New, and the Best of Mary Wells. The album includes a disco version of The One Who Really Loves You. In 1987, Allegiance Records released The Old, The New, and the Best of Mary Wells as a CD as part of a 2-album set. Oh, yeah. That's when them CDs was coming. We wasn't popping tapes no more, baby. And, like getting a piece of Scotch tape and taping them back together so we can reuse them again and then they'd pop again. Mary's disappointment at these failures was greatly offset by the result of another huge and joyous twist in her life that occurred at the same time. While she was being considered for the first Rock and Roll Hall of Fame award, she found out she was pregnant. At first, Wells, 43, didn't realize the significance of her weight gain. She thought she had a tumor. Curtis said her girlfriends kept asking her, "Say, Mary, you think you might be pregnant?" And she'd say, "No, I have a tumor, and I think it's growing." Finally, one of her friends started laughing and told her, "Your tumor's going to be walking and talking soon, girlfriend." When Wells was more than 8 months pregnant, she performed at a Coconut Grove, Florida club called Biscayne Baby, which specialized in female vocalists. Mary wore a pretty gown that was made big enough to give her space. Curtis Womack said, adding admirably, that she didn't miss a beat on stage. She carried very well and had absolutely no lack of energy when pregnant. Staffers joked about what an event it would be if Wells actually gave birth at the appropriately named club. As it turned out, she gave birth to Sugar, as the baby was named on June 13th, 1986 in Los Angeles, the day after concluding her Florida engagement. As this incident indicates, Wells, an expectant mother of 3, was not worried about pregnancy. When people asked her if she was nervous about labor, she'd tell them, "I got through labor like nothing." That turned out to be untrue this time around. When Mary started labor, Curtis was in her hospital room sitting at the foot of her bed. He made the mistake of sitting in a wheeled office chair within range of Wells' legs, which were muscular from years of stage performing. When the first pains hit, Mary kicked me clean out the room, Curtis said. The nurses were laughing because they saw me shoot out of there like a cannonball and roll across the hall. Womack claimed he didn't stop until he hit a desk in an adjacent room. Wells then ordered him out of the delivery room for good, blaming him for her labor pains. "Get him out of here," she yelled. "Get him out of here." Ooh, you pregnant women be terrible when y'all be in labor. Ooh, Lord, I know when he be on top of you, hunching and a grinding, doing that business. Ooh, he is every love thing that you have ever had. But baby, when that pain hit, that's why you wasn't gonna get me with the pregnancy. Who was that? I forgot what movie was that, y'all. Y'all tell me below. A moment of passion can give you a lifetime of pain. Where'd that come from, y'all? What movie was that? Damn. A moment of passion can give you a lifetime of pain. I never saw two people doting more on a baby than on Sugar. Joyce Moore said she was the world. She was it. Brenda Holloway called Sugar Mary's heartbeat. Wells carried the baby around on her hip while touring and would only relinquish her just before going on stage. Sometimes, though, Sugar came out on stage with Wells, entrancing the audience. Occasionally, Mary would set up a little chair in view of the audience so Sugar could watch her as she performed, and the audience could watch her watching Mary. Sweet little Sugar was always there in the dressing room with her crayons and coloring books, said David Bell, who saw Mary in concert several times in England. The joys of a new child aside, Mary's recording career had almost run its course. With no alternative in sight, she envisioned spending the rest of her life singing mostly oldies on tour. But in 1986, her career seemed to be rudely interrupted. In September 1986, less than 3 months after Sugar was born, Mary and Curtis were already back on the tour circuit, carrying Sugar with them. Mary was enjoying a series of concert dates in her old stomping ground, Michigan. These engagements attracted the usual adoring crowds. Some of them were there to hear Wilson Pickett, who was performing on the same bill, but many were there to see Mary, their favorite star. This was an international tour as well. After performing 2 shows on the first Sunday in September at the Heritage Theater in Saginaw, Michigan, Mary, Curtis, and Sugar were scheduled to fly to Toronto on Monday to perform for a week in the Imperial Room of the Royal York Hotel. The Toronto portion of the tour never occurred. What follows is what Mary told newspaper reporters about what happened.